Listen to this carefully. There is a question that we rarely ask ourselves in the rush of repeated days. Where am I going? It's not about next year's targets or childhood dreams, but about the direction of every second we live. Our life today, in fact, is an accumulation of hundreds of small habits that we do or do not do secretly. Invisible habits, working behind the scenes, slowly carve the path of our destiny. This video is not about instant change. This is the map to a true journey of transformation, starting with 15 little spots you may have overlooked. Let's start at what is often our first battleground every morning, the mind. The first habit that quietly changes everything is a deliberate morning ritual. It's not just getting up and taking a shower, it's about the first 10 minutes after the alarm goes off. What are you doing? Checking notifications? Or give your brain a chance to set the tone for the day? Imagine our subject here, choosing to sit in silence for a moment, catch his breath, write down one thing for which he is grateful in a small journal. This little ritual is a bulwark against the chaos of the outside world. It awakens consciousness, not just the body. The second habit is single tasking in a multitasking world. We are surrounded by the productivity lie that doing many things at once is a skill. In fact, our brain is designed to focus on one thing violently. Look at our subject now. He was sitting at his desk, yet only one screen was on, one document was open. The phone is face down. The world around him seemed to slow down. It is this tacit habit that trains the attention muscle. Every time you complete a task in full presence, you re-establish control over your time and your mind. And this leads us to the third most powerful but most feared habit, facing productive discomfort. Our brain naturally looks for a comfort zone, but growth is always out there. This habit is the art of choosing the right discomfort, not to suffer aimlessly, but to deliberately do the thing that is a little more difficult than yesterday. Maybe it's starting a necessary conversation, learning a confusing new skill at the beginning, or exercising when laziness creeps in. In this image, we see our subject forcing ourselves to run in the morning on a cold day. His expression was tense, but there was determination in his eyes. Every step on that cold asphalt is a small victory over the self that wants to stay comfortable. After trying hard, we often forget the fourth habit that is a counterweight: active and conscious recovery. Recovery is not laziness. Getting enough sleep, taking aimless walks in nature, or simply sitting down to an uninterrupted cup of tea, these are vital reset processes. Look at our subject now, sitting on a park bench, soaking up the sun, observing the fallen leaves. He's not holding a cell phone. He is recharging his batteries of attention and inner calm. This silent habit prevents chronic fatigue and keeps the flame of passion burning in the long term. The fifth habit is curating your input. Our minds are fertile ground. What you sow there every day through social media, news, or conversation, that's what will grow. This habit is the vanguard of your own mind. Our subjects appear to be intentionally turning off notifications, unfollowing non-constructive accounts, or choosing to listen to inspirational podcasts over endless scrolling. It is an act of quiet rebellion against the flood of information that leaves us anxious and fragmented. Sixth, night reflection with a journal. If the morning ritual sets the tone, the evening reflection is a learning process. The habit of noting 3 things that went well today, 1 lesson learned, and 1 little thing for tomorrow turns life experience into wisdom. This is the most honest conversation with yourself. Here, our subject sits under the warm light of a desk lamp, writing in his journal. His face was calm, full of contemplation. This process closes the loop of the day, gives a sense of completion, and prevents worries from interfering with sleep. It quietly builds a narrative that your life is a meaningful story, not just a series of random events. Seventh, question the basic assumptions. We live our lives based on the map of reality that we created in the past. This silent habit is to pause and ask, is this still true? Does this still serve my purpose? Our subject is depicted looking out the window or looking at an old vision board with a questioning expression. It may be about his own career, relationships, or definition of success. This habit of asking prevents us from being locked into a life that is not our choice. Eighth, micro-connections. In a digitally connected world, we often miss the simple human touch. This habit is about making sincere little connections, looking the barista in the eye while saying thank you, texting a friend just to ask how she's doing, or listening fully as the family tells a story. In this image, our subject is smiling and talking to a trader in a traditional market or helping someone lift goods. This simple human contact recharges our sense of belonging and humanity. Ninth, set the physical environment for victory. Motivation is up and down, but the environment can be your constant ally. This silent habit is redesigning the space around you so that good habits become easy and bad habits become difficult. A neat and bright work desk, fruits in an accessible place, sports equipment placed at the entrance, a replacement book for the TV remote. Our subject is seen tidying up his bookshelf or rearranging his desk. It's not just a cleanup, it's a strategy. You don't fight your willpower all the time. You take advantage of the flow of the environment to take you to your destination. 10th, practice proactive letting go. We carry the burden of emotions, petty grudges, yesterday's failures, and tomorrow's worries. This habit is a ritual of letting go. It can be by writing down worries on a piece of paper and then tearing it up, or mentally returning responsibilities that are not yours. Here, our subject may be standing in an open place, such as a rooftop or a beachfront, in a metaphorical pose of letting go. His expression was relieved. This habit clears the mental space for new and important things. 11. Learn by hand, not just the mind. Knowledge becomes wisdom when lived. This habit is choosing to do, a simplified version of something you want to learn, instead of just watching the tutorial. Cooking new recipes, fixing something broken at home, growing herbs in pots. Our subjects appear to be focusing on their hands, perhaps carefully chopping vegetables or connecting wires. There is a real satisfaction in this kinesthetic learning process that is deeply rooted. 12. Listen to understand, not to respond. In every conversation, there is a temptation to compose a reply while the other person is talking. The tacit habit that changes this relationship is that restraint, and really trying to get into the perspective of the interlocutor. Our subject is depicted in a serious conversation. His facial expression indicates empathy and full attention, not readiness to argue. Her body position is open and leaning slightly forward. Listening like this is the highest form of appreciation and builds a solid bridge of trust. 13. Future self-visualization routine. Our brain responds strongly to vivid images. This habit is to take a few minutes each week to imagine in detail your future self, not just his achievements, but his character, calmness, and habits. How did he wake up? How does he deal with stress? Our subject is shown meditating or sitting with his eyes closed, but the setting blends in with a subtle visualization of his future self, perhaps a more confident silhouette or a metaphor like climbing a mountain. It ties today's action to a greater purpose. 14. Celebrating micro-progress. We obsess over big goals and ignore small victories. This habit is to stop and acknowledge every step forward, no matter how small. Finish a chapter of the book, run 1 minute longer, refrain from negative comments. Our subject is seen giving a high five to the mirror or ticking a list with a satisfied smile. This celebration releases dopamine, reinforces the cycle of good habits, and transforms the journey from an ordeal to a series of achievements. 15. Integration and acceptance. This last habit is the most subtle, admitting that you will never finish. There will be days when you go back to your old habits. The silent habit that changes everything is not punishing yourself for falling, but gently asking, what can I learn from this? And get back on track. Our subject is depicted after a bad day, perhaps sitting listlessly, but then taking a deep breath, and his expression changes from frustration to gentle acceptance. His face showed resilience, not perfection. This is what breaks the cycle of all or nothing. Now imagine all these little habits working together, like interlocking gears in a machine called your life. They do not need heroic motivation every day. They just need loving consistency. Look at our subject now, in a composite scene that shows the flow of his days, from morning rituals, work focus, human connections, to night reflections. There were no dramatic explosions, only steady and sure progress. This is the real power, transformation through accumulation, not revolution. You may be asking, where to start? The answer is simple. From 1, choose one habit from these 15 that resonates with you the most today. Not the hardest, but the one that feels most likely. Do it for a week. Don't mind the others. Allow yourself to master one small rhythm before adding another. Big changes never come from trying to build an entire wall at once. It comes from laying one brick well, day after day. Your focus is on the process, not on distant outcomes. And remember this, your journey will be unique. There will be shady moments where progress is felt and bright moments where everything feels wasted. That's normal. Our subject is depicted in a metaphorical journey walking on a winding road, passing through various emotional and situational weathers. Sometimes the road climbs, sometimes ramps, but they kept going. In the background, we could see the silhouettes of the small changes they had built up along the way, like the traces left behind. The message is, keep moving. Consistency beats intensity in the long run. We end where we started, but with a changed perspective. A life that changes forever is not about one moment of wonder. It's about tens of thousands of ordinary moments in which you choose, silently and consciously, to align with the best version of yourself. It's about being the architect of your own day, brick by brick. Look at our subject in this cover image. They don't look like superheroes. They look like you, a whole human being, with light and shadow, but with a calmness in the eyes that comes from knowing the direction. They are smiling softly, not because everything is perfect, but because they have found the process. And that process is what changed everything. Choose one brick today, put it well, then believe in the silent power of habit.